Let's modify some vanilla loot tables. More in-depth topics for Minecraft modding available in the 121 modding courses linked below, covering writable and tameable entities, custom entity armor, and even custom entity inventories, among many more awesome topics. Alright, friends, back and tell you once more, and in this tutorial we'll be modifying vanilla loot tables. Indeed, so that means we're going to add items to, let's say, a creeper, or to a structure chest, or to, let's say, short grass, for example, kohlrabi seeds, which would be kind of, sensible in this case. Now, the way to do this is with global loot modifiers. For this, we will need data gen. However, of course, if you don't have data gen and you're like, I don't want to use that, that's totally fine as well. Then you can basically sort of more or less jump to the end of the video. Not quite yet, because you still need to actually add the loot modifier that we're going to add in just a second. But the JSON files, you can, of course, also write manually, but it just makes it a little bit harder. So data gen is basically the way to go, in my opinion. But regardless, let's first of all start with the loot modifier itself. So in Kaupenjoe tutorial mod, we're going to make a new package called loot. And in here, we need two new Java classes. The first one is going to be the mod loot modifiers. And the second one is going to be the actual modifier itself, which is the add item modifier. Now, the add item modifier in this case is, sort of a construction I have made myself with, a little bit of help. So the idea is that you're going to be able to add one specific item with a count of 1 to any loot table you want. That's basically all that this one does. Now, of course, when you have this, you can also make more, right? You can make a, let's say, remove all item modifier, and then just remove all of the items from a particular loot table. You could also do that, right? You're not stuck with this. This is code. You can make your own stuff as well, right? Just to basically make this clear. And those will always extend the loot modifier. So this is the loot modifier class. And we're going to hover over this to implement the two methods that we need. We're going to hover over this to create constructor matching super. And we actually don't need the comment over here. That's fine. And then we need a codec. Now a codec, I'll copy this over as, in this case, for the add item modifier, it's going to be, well, always the same. But of course, if you want something different, then it's going to look different for you. But the idea is that a map codec over here of the actual type of class that you have. This is going to then have a record codec builder, where we're going to build this with an item over here in this case, because, well, we have to define an item. And the reason why we have an error over here is because, well, while the codec says, hey, we have an item over here, the actual constructor does not. So if we do item over here, there we go. Now this error goes away. And of course, the error here is, hey, we have not assigned this item. So we say this item is equal to the item parameter. And all of a sudden, all errors go away. As per usual, all of the code is also available to you down below, so you can double check it from there. The codec method, super simple. We simply return codec. And in the doApply method, I'm just going to copy over the contents, but I will explain. The idea is as follows. This list over here that we get sent, more or less, via the parameter, is the list of item stacks that are about to drop. That's the idea. And what we're just going to say is, hey, we're going to look at all of the conditions that we have in this particular modifier, which are the ones that we have defined right here via the constructor, which we're also going to make public, by the way. There you go. So those conditions, we're going to go through all of those. And if any one of them is not, true, then we're just going to return the normal generated loot, basically the thing that should have dropped anyway. So the conditions could be a 25% chance. It could be it has to rain. It could be we have to be in a jungle biome. Any condition that we might define, we're going to see those in a second. Those are going to be tested via the context that this loot has happened in. And if any of them are not true, we're immediately just going to say, okay, just use the normal loot. However, if all of them are true, then we get to this one where we simply add this item as an item stack to the generated loot, which is then also going to drop the item that we define. Now, like I said, when we define the item, we can only define one item. Of course, you could also add an integer. So then you could, add the integer as a parameter to the constructor. You can add an integer over here as a field. And then you can also say, hey, this is how many of those drop. You can do all of those things as well. But once again, I highly recommend you start with this and then you work your way from this. The list over here, of course, because this is a list, you could in theory also say generated loot.clear. This would then get rid of all of the different loot that was able to drop. So if you were to just have the clear over here, that would then basically mean that all of the loot table would be deleted. I highly recommend not doing this too often because that could basically be very bad for your mod and mod intercompatibility. But with the add item modifier done right here, you can go on to the mod loot modifiers and we can register this. So public static final, what is it? A deferred register of type map codec of type question mark extends I global loot modifier. And this is going to be the loot modifier underscore serializer, because this serializers, because this is actually going to be for the serialization of this, equal to a deferred register.create forge registries.keys global loot modifier serializers tutorial mod.modid, and of course a public static void register method with an I event bus. Here we go, called event bus. And then calling the loot modifier serializers.register method, passing that event bus. And of course, the register method should be called immediately over here in our tutorial mod constructor, mod loot modifiers.register, passing in that event bus. And then we freaking go. Now to register this, super simple, a public static final registry object of type map codec of type question mark extends I global loot modifier. I'm going to call this the @_ item equal to loot modifier serializers.register. The thing is going to be called @_ item. And then here, a supplier of @_ item modifier.codec. And that is it. That's all we need to do in this case. And we can now move on to the data gen. So this would be the portion where if you don't have data gen, you can basically jump to how the JSON files are made. And yeah, there you go. But here in data gen, we want to make a new Java class called the mod global loot modifier provider. I don't know why the O always turns out to be uppercase. I just press shift too long, but there you go. That's going to be the class, which will extend from the global loot modifier provider. I'm going to hover over this to implement the start method. Hover over this again, create constructor matching super, where we can delete the mod ID and simply pass in, of course, tutorial mod.modid, very straightforward. And in the start method, this is super simple. I'm going to write one of them out. I'm going to copy over the rest and I'm going to explain. So this is going to be this.add. Then we need the name of this particular modifier. This is going to be the kohlrabi underscore seeds underscore from underscore short underscore grass. So idea is that short grass will now also drop grass, kohlrabi seeds. And then we need a global modifier instance, which is going to be the new add item modifier, because that's what we want to do. Here we need a new loot item condition array, and we're going to fill this with two conditions. The first one, basically, to add something to a block loot table, we want to say loot item block state property condition that has block state properties. And then here, inside of this method, we define what block we want to add this to. So this is blocks.shortgrass.build. And with that, that is it. The second parameter, or the second element in this array, is going to be a random chance. So this is going to be the loot item random chance condition, that random chance. And we're going to say something like 25%. That build, of course, let's not forget that. And then after the closing curly bracket, we then define what the item is, because after the curly bracket over here, we're back in the add item modifier constructor. So this would be mod items.kohlrabiseeds.get. And with that, we have defined what we want to define. Awesome. Let's just copy over the rest that I have prepared over here. And once again, those are all available to you down below. So I also add the kohlrabi seeds to tall grass. Same thing, just with tall grass over here. If you want to add something to a chest loot table, for example, we can use the item condition of loot table ID condition.builder and then passing in the resource location of the name of that particular loot table. You can get those loot table, IDs by going to external libraries. You want to go once again to client extra over here to data, Minecraft, loot underscore table. And then this is basically where you want to go. So you can see chests, and then jungle underscore temple. That's the way that it goes. And you can basically, in theory, you should be able to basically point to any of those. We do the same thing with the entities over here for the entity creeper. However, one thing that is quite important here is that I have found that the random chance over here definitely is not 100% accurate. Specifically with the entity, I found this. I don't know quite what's going on. It doesn't spawn all the time, and it does spawn, roughly, like randomly, let's say. But I'm unsure how exactly to define the random chance over here. So do just keep in mind that this is definitely not 50% chance. It's something a little bit different. But I highly recommend when it comes to the numbers, as per usual, play around with them, and see what basically sticks and what you think is accurate and best for your own mod. Now, last but certainly not least, we want to go to the data generators over here and of course add this. This is going to be generators.addProvider. This is going to be event.includeServer, new mod global loot table modifiers provider. There you go, crazy name. Passing in the pack output and passing in the lookup provider. And there we go. Now, one final thing that I believe need to do, this is just for the, this would be for the block loot, if I recall correctly. Yep, we need to just add the chair right here because the chair doesn't drop anything. So we would get an error if we were to run data. So just keep that in mind. But if we now run the data, we should be set and everything should work fine. Like I said, the chair over here has nothing to do with the global loot tables. It just has to do with the fact that every block needs a drop. But if we have this, we can see 6 of them written. Now, a couple of those were our loot stuff. So we can find the loot modifiers under data tutorial mod. And then here we have the 4 loot modifiers. And those are going to be the interesting JSON files. So we can see, for example, in the kohlrabi over here, we have, well, a certain condition. And all of those conditions have to be met. So number 1 is entity's creeper. So the loot table ID has to be the creeper. And then there's a random chance of 50%. Like I said, not 100% sure that this works exactly how intended, but you know, it's supposed to add the kohlrabi to the creeper about 50% of the time. And then let's say, for example, the short grass that has the block state property and it's going to look for the short grass block and it's going to add the kohlrabi seeds about 25% of the time. I also don't think that this is exactly correct, but you know, it's a rough ballpark. And I think for most mods, this is going to be totally fine. All right, with everything like that done, let's jump into the game and see if it works. All right, finally back in Minecraft. And let's first of all try for the grass over here. Like I said, you can definitely see that 25% is definitely not the case. However, you know, sometimes it just takes a little while and then we're going to see. There we go. So that is definitely not 25%, as you can clearly tell. Right, that took way longer than, you know, 4 or 5 or maybe even 8. So you can see maybe you do need to just increase the chance just a little bit more. I highly doubt that we're going to get the tall grass one to drop one of them. But we definitely saw, oh, we actually did, there you go. But you can see, so maybe the chance has to be revised a little bit, but there you go. That is the first one. The second one is going to be the creeper for the sake of argument over here. That's going to be, it's going to take a while, most likely, because once again, like I said, the even though it is a 50% chance, right, we would expect it to happen every second creeper or so. But I can tell you, right, if from my testing, well, it's the third creeper, but at least, you know, we got lucky there. So that was this one. And then lastly, we can locate the structure of the jungle pyramid, which is going to be the jungle temple. And that is going to look kind of like this. Let's just go in here and let's see. But I'm pretty sure this one has a 100% chance, if I recall correctly. And that should be, there we go. The chisel is added over here. Absolutely fantastic. And that is, well, modifying vanilla loot tables in Minecraft. Pretty freaking neat. Like I said, you can do so many more things with loot modifiers. You can make your own custom loot modifiers. So there is still so many things to do. Highly recommended to play around with this a little bit, and then you can see where you can go from there. But that's going to be it for this tutorial right here. Next time in this video, we'll talk finally about basic block entities. Hope to see you there. So, yeah.